Sometimes baking just makes you smile. These are brioche dough formed into donuts with a molten chocolate centre. So all you've got to do is invite your friends round, have a donut party and get baking.
These little donuts beg to be shared and passed around. Made fresh, they simply melt in your mouth. And I'm sure my 4 students are going to enjoy making this indulgent treat. In my chocolate baking class today are sisters Salma and Aisha. Both are chocoholics. Salma eats chocolate every day, while Aisha loves baking with it, even inventing her own chocolate recipes. Sue is keen to learn about the science of baking, but her husband David wants her just to keep the kitchen a bit tidier.
These little fellas, would you like to try one? Just take it.
Nice.
There you go. Now, so what do you think of that?
That is good.
Delicious.
Very nice.
Now the donuts have had my student's seal of approval, let's get baking.
Now to make it, I'm using a mixer because a brioche can be quite heavy going.
I'm using strong white bread flour, fast action yeast, a bit of salt and caster sugar.
Then I've got some eggs.
Right, Paul, can you explain what brioche is and how different is it from normal bread?
Well, basically, a brioche is an enriched dough. It's a French enriched dough. So it's got butter, it's got sugar, and it's got lots and lots of eggs in there. So that's basically what a brioche is. A little bit of warm milk in there. That goes straight in. You start with a dough hook. And you start by mixing it together. In there, you've got everything bar the butter. So at this stage, I'm trying to develop the dough. You're trying to build up the gluten and form what essentially is a soft dough in there.
Why a dough hook and not just normal mixer then?
A dough hook is a slow mix. A paddle would beat it to death. And I don't want to do that. Using a hook is better. It's a slow mix to slowly bring all the ingredients together. It looks quite wet at the moment, but eventually it'll get quite glutinous and it'll all come into one ball in the mixer, and that's an indication that it's actually ready. But the thing is, you can add butter to that, which will again slacken it down, and then the whole mix will go in the fridge, and the fridge will chill the butter down, chill the dough down, and then it becomes something you can use. At the moment, you won't be able to use that, it's too soft.
So you put brioche in the fridge, but dough bread you put in a warm place to rise.
No, you don't put it in a warm place.
I do.
Well, maybe this is where you're going wrong. If you put dough in a warm place to rise, the issue is it rises quicker, yeah?
Yeah.
If it rises quicker, you're losing the flavour. The longer bread takes to rise, the more flavour you get in it. If you rise it overnight, reduce the yeast, pop it in the fridge, and the flavour is intense.
Can you actually over-mix it?
It is possible at this speed. You'll know, because what happens is it all goes into a ball and it won't go anywhere, and it sort of stops. Let's have a look at this mix. See, it's getting more gelatinous now. See, you're starting to see webbing. The webbing is when you can stretch it. See?
Can you see?
Yeah.
Now that, I would say, is ready for the next stage.
Add softened unsalted butter and mix on a slow speed. Once the butter is incorporated, put on a high speed to finish it off.
And this is the key thing about brioche. It's got to be a lovely, emulsified, shiny, enriched dough. And the enrichedness really in this recipe comes from the eggs and, more importantly, the butter. The volume of butter that's gone in there is nearly half the weight of flour, which is a lot. Brioche in the morning is something beautiful. A brioche in a donut, that's something else. Let's have a look. See, it's getting there now. It's stretching, see? It's come back to being stretchy again, and you're getting the webbing as well, see?
Yeah.
So that is a gorgeous, soft, smooth, feel it, it's gorgeous. It feels like almost a meringue. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
That needs to go into a bowl, into the fridge, and then chill down overnight.
After at least 8 hours in the fridge, the brioche dough has risen. It's firm and ready for shaping.
For 8 hours, and I'll feel the dough now.
So it rises quite a bit.
It does rise, it still will rise in the fridge. Now, if you think of it, that was it before, and that's it now. Now, what I'd like you to do, over here, I've got a cutting board. Can you chop up that chocolate, please, into just little pieces? Get a little bit of flour. So you pull off a little piece of dough like this, place a little finger in the middle to make a little hole. Then you grab a little piece of chocolate, like so, Drop that into the middle and then seal it up like a parcel. Spin it round, turn it to a ball. It's great with a cup of coffee, actually, these things.
Is that too big?
It's a little bit big. Make sure they're all roughly the same size.
The donuts need to be the same size so they fry evenly.
Bit of flour on your hand first, and then you roll it in the flour, and the flour stops it from getting sticky to your hands. I think we've got plenty now. So what we're going to do is get the fryer up to temperature, and we're literally, you don't need any proving, we're just going to fry them all off.
Heat up the oil in the fryer to 180 degrees Celsius.
You see them straight away begin to fizz, and they're going to rise up because the air has been pushed inside the donut. Basically, the more that you put in, obviously, it reduces the temperature of the fat, so be careful of that. I mean, I've fitted in probably about 15.
These little beauties take around 3 minutes to fry.
You see the way they're flipping over? What's happening is when they cook, they just flip over, see?
Yeah.
It's a great way of doing it. You don't actually have to do anything. Aren't they strange? I think they're brilliant the way they flip over. Do it automatically.
These mini donuts can be made ahead of time, kept in the fridge and then fried fresh as you need them.
These will go straight into the sugar. Roll them around, coat them in the sugar all the way around while the frying fat is on there. Make sure they're fully coated. So we grab these, pop them onto a plate. Just leave them to cool off slightly. Give them a little bit of a shake. And believe me, at a dinner party, when people are coming round, these go beautifully well. You need to tuck in, guys. Just help yourself. It's indulgent. I mean, that's the point of these. These donuts are filled with chocolate of your choice. You pick any chocolate you like. Now, these things are soft. They're delicious, aren't they?
Beautiful.
You can use any chocolate you like, or try different fillings like a sharp black cherry jam.
Is this something you think you'll try again?
It was really good fun.
Yeah.
Very, very light, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So it's down to you guys. You have now got to make yourselves some brioche dough and make some gorgeous chocolate-filled donuts.